Yeah, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm Osaon Egwavon by name. I'm from Nigeria and Edo State. So, like other video, like I said, there is some videos I have made before, like airline speaking, airline passing on air using voice, human voice. So, what happened was this: I was controlled in 2018 by a friend of mine named Eddie, but I don't really know his surname. So I went from Italy to meet him. That was 2000. I left Italy, my camp I was staying in Torino, Rivata Bogata di Doroni, numero 16, at 2017, either October or November. So that was when I left Italy camp. So I was about to go to Swiss. I tried to enter Swiss, so I was blocked up by the Swiss security. So they returned me. So I called Eddie. When I called Eddie, I was going to France. He said yes, I can come and meet him in France. Then I moved to Eddie. So going to France, I passed very well to France. So then I was staying in France with Eddie. So I had a relationship in Italy before I moved to France. Her name was Lovette Igbenedion, who was sister to Precious. I know her through Precious. I was in camp in Torino when I know this very Lovette. So what happened was this: I never knew when Eddie poisoned me when I came to Eddie's place to see him. Eddie poisoned me with an object that is matched between Europe, American, and African. So this signal, at first place, Eddie was speaking privately to different roof, different room, without me not knowing. Every pictures I open that I want to talk to maybe female male, Eddie will move to that room to tell them wrong stuff about what is not going on. So I was ignorant of it. So I was living with Eddie. So I was paying him assurance. My assurance was 125. Then after he controlled me, he find out how smart I am before whatever of everything, because France was paying me. So before, when I was in his house, the Wi-Fi was gratis. So there is what happened. He said I have to be paying on Wi-Fi. So Wi-Fi was 10 euro. To make his assurance 135. Then I will leave 5 euro for him to buy recharge card. So I was giving him 100. So I was paying him 140 euro. You understand me? So the reason why I'm sending this video, this is where I've been sleeping to hit France, Italian, American since I left France. Not that I'm coming to Italy. After I met someone they were called Kakali. So she lived in American. I don't want to speak now of the women Eddie attacked with me in Europe, who live in Europe with me after he controlled me. So I told you I know Lovette from Precious. Precious, I was on phone call relationship with her for more than 1 year, or more than 1 year. Before I went to France, she came to see me. So I never knew when Eddie controlled me. Eddie was using this control to check on Precious. When Precious is taking shower, everything Precious was doing, Eddie was saying Precious. And this started when I went to France to see Eddie, and Eddie poisoned me. So to Precious as a woman, because Eddie was a friend to me, I don't really know if Precious think I had mind to Eddie of what Eddie was doing as an evil art to him. To be looking at her, watching her, every step she make, every money she want to use or whatever. I never really know about that, and God bear me witness. So to her, because she came to see me in the house of Eddie when she came from London to see me after I moved from Italy to France. So I never knew this object that Eddie plugged on me. Whenever I speak, people will hear, and whenever people speak through my ear, they will hear. So now Lovette came to see me in France, I had an opportunity to have sex with her. And the sex I have with her, do you know when you make love with someone, there is a sound of sex that will arrive. It depends on how you smooth the woman or whatever. So I never really known that every sound that this woman and I was making on our sexual time, that we were having that sexual portion, let me not say sexual harassment. You understand that sexual stuff we were trying to do, sexual things that we were trying to have. So I never knew the sound Eddie was hearing it by what he used to control me. And not even Eddie, I never know the Mond was hearing it, which is American, Europe, and Africa. So after I slept with Lovette, first day she came. When she came, she was coming from Paris, and then I was having just an appointment for me to go to France to put my hands on the ground. So because I was not having document, Eddie said, since I don't get document, it's risky for me to take police control, whatever, you can hide problem. So he has stayed long in France. So I gave him that chance as a friend. So we went to birthday on Paris. He said his girlfriend is doing birthday. So we're in Paris with Lovette, with one of his girlfriend called Lovette. And my girlfriend that is coming from London, her name was Lovette Eguavon. This is where I'm trying to speak what is going on. So I went to that birthday. We were together. We did everything together. So the next day after the birthday, my girl is coming from London. I know her from Italy through her sister called Precious. So now we went with different people from Nat. So on that birthday day, after the birthday, we have to return to Nat. So Eddie have to stay in Paris to come with Lovette because Lovette don't know the road to Nat. We said, okay, I was supposed to wait with him. They said, no, let's go together because of one or two. I said, okay. Then I followed the rest of them. There is one man called John Egbon who is in Nat. This Nat that I'm going to very soon because I'm in Italy now. I will bring you the question what makes me to be in Italy. I don't really want to give a fuck of where you are seeing. This is where I've been staying for me, calling different people for close to like 10 months. So what happened was this. So immediately that woman was coming, Eddie stayed in Paris to receive her to Nat. So coming to Nat, I never knew Eddie, Egbon, and the crew that I came to meet in Nat. Since they poisoned me, they were seeing different women that they want to go for and that they want to hold. So as the woman, as they called, they were in, before they get to Nat, I think they were in Oje. I said, okay, let me quickly go and take my shower. So as soon as I was taking my shower, I finished taking my shower, I dressed up, I said, let me go. I came out, I never met Bazo, Egbon, and the people we were supposed to go together to pick this woman. They left. Egbon and Bazo left to pick the Lovette that was coming from London, which is my girlfriend. So there were 3 on car, Egbon, Bazo, and Eddie. So then Lovette came. As Lovette came, I saw Lovette with them. Already when I finished my shower checking for them, my mind was butter. How can you go and move a girlfriend that is not for you, and you never call the person that the girl is coming to see, and she was on train station on my city. I was supposed to be there to go and meet her on the train station. She said I cannot pick her from Paris. So they brought her to Eddie's house. When she see me, she hugged me. I never know the art of what she and Eddie did or whatever. But what I want to know was the woman I was calling and the woman I'm seeing and the woman I was talking to on WhatsApp. This was what I wanted to know. So I was never a fat thinker to think if Eddie was sleeping with her or whatever, or watching her or whatever. What leads to where make me to know Eddie was watching her? I will speak all for you to know. So after she came, We were together. She cooked, she bring. We ate together with friend of Eddie or wherever. We ate, we do everything. So a day to when she want to go, she said I should go and pay for ticket for her. And the ticket she want to cut was this blah blah ticket. You know what's called blah blah? You want to not direct ticket, but someone can cut it for you online. So I went to John, who was the one driving the motor, and Eddie for me, the Puri people, which is the Shentro. So I went to John. John was the one cutting the ticket. I went to John to go and pay for ticket. It was evening around towards 10, 11 or 9, 10. So I took the phone of Lovette. It was with me and my phone was with Lovette. So I went down. Me and Osas, who was sharing room together in Eddie's house. I was paying, like I said, 125. The room was 250 euro. I was paying 125. So later on, I moved to where I want to go and buy tickets. Going to the place to give that man money, I gave that man money. I said, okay, let me search for weed. I bought weed. I was smoking weed downstairs. I said, let me smoke before I go upstairs. As I was smoking, I was hearing the voice of Lovette screaming as if they were as in they are making sex with her. I was downstairs. Then I asked Osas, what did they go on for that? I won't go up. They said, as I was going, they said the landlord is upstairs, which is Tata. Tata. That was the name of the landlord. They said the man was upstairs, and really the man was around. This is the honest part I want to say. Really the man was around. So I tried to go up. They said the man is upstairs. So then Jessica came down. He said, ask me a question, brother, why you come down now? The landlord did, that will not be anything. If you go up now, that will not be now. I say, I just want man wait. Me the landlord. You can go up even though the landlord is there. I say, okay, let me just wait so that he will not say I'm the one who come to cause problem between him and the landlord. So I was waiting. The period of waiting, I heard the voice of Lovette screaming, having sex with her. They said, what did this up? Make I go up. So as I did go up, I met the landlord. I said, okay, waiting this guy. What he was saying was true, that the landlord was around. So I decided to step down for the landlord to go out. Immediately the landlord wanted to go at me. I called Osas. I said, let's pass this place round. So we passed this place round facing the building that we are supposed to go in. It was opposite the building where we live in. So for me to enter, I met Eddie on the kitchen. He was standing to looking at, it was from kitchen looking at us. Then we entered. As we entered, my mind was brutal already because I heard the sexual voice of Lovette. So as soon as I moved up, I was, Lovette, what were you doing? He said nothing. I said, why didn't you call me since you never know? You never know I'm here, and you understand I'm going to cut tickets. You were supposed to call me. Where am I? I want to cut ticket for you. She said she was sleeping. You were sleeping. He said, you were sleeping. She said, yes. Then as she said she was sleeping, I was trying to check her clothes. My mind just said, raise this babe clothes. The momently I raised her clothes, I find her tight and her pint was not straight from corner. Rush wear. So excuse the corner of the pint. Then I said, hey, Lovette, what you make your pant be like this? Why your pant be like this? So when she decided to want to speak nonsense, I slap her. Immediately I slap her. Hey man, I slap her again. Then she retaliated, she slapped me. From there we were on that issue. I was dragging with her, beating her. Then Eddie came in. When Eddie came in, instantly Eddie came in. The woman turned her face to the dick of Eddie, looking at Eddie. I was watching her, watching Eddie. So Eddie was trying to speak. I said, Eddie, come out for this place. You know, if you talk with me and my relation and my relationship, no need to talk both. And the word he said, this same thing that I'm beating my woman off is what his elder brother called Aslam. did that makes him drove Aslam out of his house. That Aslam beat his wife and tear his chair. So that was the reason why he drove Aslam out. I said, "Guy, move, forget all those matter, all those one." So we started doing things. Then that night, this woman, she came with a period. I never released inside her for 3 days, having sex with her. I never released within 3 days. So after Eddie sleep with this woman, when I was hearing the voice, because when Eddie asked me, when the woman came, Eddie told me there was a drugs for you to have woman, for woman to like you. I never know that drugs will make me not to release on time, to cease my release. The woman told me she's coming with her period, and I don't really know if Eddie sleep with the woman on Paris with her period, because Eddie was hearing every word this woman and I was saying since the day he controlled me. Not everybody was hearing. So when he gave me that, after sleeping with her 3 days, also he can ask me for father. Brother, have fun. What's up? As in, how is it going? I said, man, I have slept with this babe, but I have not released on her. And that was the same day I was supposed to buy ticket for her to travel. That was the same day Eddie slept with her on the code that I was hearing her voice. So that angriness that I touched her, I beat her, I never slept with her, I left her. So when it was morning for daybreak, out of how we fight, she want to protect herself, she never had anything with him or whatever. I slept with her. When I slept with her, I released inside her. So when I released inside her, we stayed. Then other again, I slept with her, I released inside her. Then we went to kitchen, we want to make food to cook, because she brought stew. She brought stew and rice. If stew and rice finished, there was soup. So we want to make pounded yam. As immediately we take the pocket of pounded yam, I said, Lovette, this pounded yam don't they finish? You fit give me 40 euro. Can you help me with 40 euro to place this pounded yam and this rice? She said she has already talked with Eddie. She know how to replace the stuff with Eddie. I said, okay, no problem, no reason. So from there, Lovette moved. When Lovette moved, I was talking to Lovette, but Lovette was sending me Benin music to try to tell me that my friend is trying to betray me to come to her step. So we were on track. I never knew what Eddie used to poison me was activate for positive, and Eddie was using it for negative. So she traveled. When she traveled, I used to call her. She used to call me. But I never knew Eddie was hearing every call we were saying. Even when she speak with my cousin who was in London, Osabo, for more than 32 minutes. Osabo was telling her, since she lives in London, he is in London. It's easy for them to bring money together to walk me to come to London, to stay with her, to be working and live with her. I never knew that talk was a jealousy to Eddie on his heart, because he was hearing my move forward. So on that issue, he spread that issue. So when he spread the issue that of Osabo finished, so it was 2 weeks for him to come to Nat again, summer period. So he said, let's go to his sister's house, his cousins who was living in Paris, Lyon. I said, no, let's come to Eddie's place. He said, because if we come to Eddie, she cannot use water the way she was supposed to use water. I said, no, that's no problem. We can use water, we can use everything. No, she said, no, we want to go to his sister's place. So this was the control. So before that time, Mary left Rome. I was sharing room with Osas. Mary left his room. So when Mary left his room, there was nobody there. I was sleeping in the room of where Mary and Jessica was staying for me to have a room. Then I called Lovette. I said, I get room when I want to stay. You feel they help me with, can you be helping me with 125? I will be paying the rest. Lovette was anxious to pay a room for me. But knowing Eddie colonizing her to Eddie's track, a room was too big for me to stay. Because Eddie can never live on two rooms, since he said he's a king of black. So Eddie can never live in two rooms. So I tried to rent that room. I was staying in the room, making call. The room was closed. After the door, you reach the door of Eddie. So I never knew every step that I was making with was hearing. You understand? So I never knew Eddie was hearing. So she left the room. She called me. I was in that room. I was trying to take the room. She said no, she didn't even have money. I said okay. So I was there. So later Eddie said someone want to come and carry the room. The process I was telling Lovette for me to have the room. So that process, Eddie searched for person Subitu. They added the room. They was paying for the room. So I was to go back with Osas, to be living with Osas in one room to pay my husband. So it come to a day, Eddie said his girlfriend called Cynthia was doing a birthday, and this Cynthia's sister on her marriage day, Eddie and Egmont confirmed they fucked this woman on her marriage day. The talk will come to that level. So on that birthday day, I called Lovette. She picked my call. Osan, where are you? I said I'm at home. What's going on? I said I'm just having a time with my friend, having a dance. Eddie said his girlfriend called Cynthia. Today is his birthday. It's her birthday. He said, then what she replied, Osan, are you dancing? Are you dancing? I said, Then immediately she said that word. She never waited for me to reply for her to come back. She ended the call. So I tried to call her back. The call was not going. I tried to call her. Call. She was not going. Then Egbon, who was the Yoruba man, was on call with Eddie's phone, talking in Eddie's room. And Osas was standing on the door to watch who was coming and who was not coming. At that time, I was in the room after Eddie. So as I passed, I entered the room. Then I came back. I said, Iblan and this girl, that was what my mind told to me. My mind said, Iblan and this girl, now these people they talk to. That was the first place I started having an art issues with them. Iblan and this girl, these people they talk to. I don't call. I have called, he's not going. So then I said, okay, no shaking. I ended the call. Then I sent a voice record. I said, Joy and Lovette, if what my heart is telling me about you, if what my heart is telling me about you is what you are doing, there's nothing you will look for that will meet you, except you are innocent of what I sweat off. I sent her the record. So goodly way for her, she listened to the record, but wrongly way for her. She know my family, she know everybody. I hated her. I was never the family of Eddie. I was staying with Eddie. So she never passed the record that I sent to her, to my family, to say, see what your son sent, give me. She sent it to Eddie. Immediately I was waking up, it was my first word I was hearing with Lovette and Eddie, according to the record I sent to her. Immediately she was saying that record, I had another record. I said, If you think I was drunk on Eddie's birthday, if she was the one who sent the money, I don't know. If you think I was drunk on Eddie's birthday, the word I said to you, this is what I'm repeating to you. Who do something, that's who the cause or the gods will kill. Then I sent to her again. She listened. She keep it. Then she sent to her sister, and maybe later on, when she understand, she decided to send to my family. I don't really know. So when she sent to her sister called. I tried to call her sister. I say I can't. I tell the sister. I say, see, I happen. Sister, what the sister say? Say, Oviagbo. I give Oviagbo ya kuwekini avi hoje. When you met in our honor, she can't say they don't play with Agbo people in where women are. That was the easy way we met that word. I say, so then sister said, there's nothing she will say that Lovette will not hear. I should calm down, that she will talk to Lovette. I said, okay. So during that process of me and Lovette having those issues, I called Lovette. She picked. I talked to her. Even my mom, I was begging my mom, Mommy, help me to call Lovette, talk to her. Elsasu help me call Lovette, talk to her. This one help me call Lovette. Then when she found out that I was using those people to tell them to talk to her, she blocked all of them and she accepted Eddie's family to be calling her. So from that place, I tried, it was no more. Then Eddie called Aslim and speaking Agbo to Aslim, telling Aslim, if anybody, if there's no way I can do it, I will never get Lovette. So Aslim called, Aslim speak with me, say, you found another woman, Lovette. Now I say, I love her, I want hold her strong, I want your day with her. He say, no, he can't laugh. He say, no, you know, see her again, this and those kind of joke matter. So can't talk as joke, it can't go. So me as a man living with them, I was complaining. Then I called a spiritual woman. When I called Amiwu, my cousin brother, who is an Ibaka to Supreme Air Confraternity. I was an NG before he became a Ibaka in Ofones. I was an NG. I was blessed as an NG by Ui Peke. Ofo Smoliu is a SAS, and over Osmoliu is a SAS, and over to Uyi Peke as the second Ibaka of Ofones. I was the first Ibaka I was the first engine under Uyi Peke. They blessed me as an engine. So from there I called Amiwu. Amiwu gave me one woman's number who was a spiritualist onto the matter of this woman. Then I called this woman. When I called this woman, a lady complained. You know what she said to me? She said, where am I? I said, I'm in the house of my friend. He said, I have to leave the house, that my friend is an evil friend. He said, what did I say to this very woman that came to see me in his house? I said to her, he said it was because of the insult I insulted her. That was the reason why this woman don't want to come back. That I should forget about her to do my things. But one thing I have to do, I have to leave the house of my friend. I said, okay. Immediately that woman said that word. And she told me they were using my enemy at night walk after the call of she telling me that this is kind of what my friend is planning to do. So I called her again. I called her in Davalia at evening when she said they were using my enemy for what? Night walk. So after that period, when she said I have to leave that man, I was looking for where to go. So I started calling Sonkens 115 because now my house staying with Eddie that I'm paying was unsettled for me. I started calling 115. 115 started giving me place. So immediately he see when I left his house on Stonkins, France trapped differently from him and trapped me directly just to what France was having and what France is looking for. As I was coming, he said to me, you know, if you stay in my house again, I hear say you defend house. Person when person will defend house go me tell me say you defend house. So me no fit on the day me the you know tell me say you defend house. Now me and you dey stay, not knowing that every word I said to you man, Eddie was hearing due to what he controlled me with. So from that place, I said, no problem. He said, if I can tell him, he can look for one room for me. I said, no problem. I will look for a room on my own to stay. So God so kind, the place was very, if I would leave the bed, I would sleep the ground. Bed was not okay for me and him. God will put me on the ground for me to sleep. He said, you will bring yourself, go down, he will raise you up. The Lord said, the man who brings himself down, he will raise him up. But if you bring yourself up, he will bring you down. So I was staying on the ground just for me to stay cool and to have my time. So from there, I searched for a room. I had a very small store. That store was placed for people to keep maybe food stuff, anything that you cannot use again. So it was long enough to cover length of human, but not wide enough to keep properties or whatever. So I reached that place. They said it was 80 euro for the store, and I was paying 125 euro in this house. So I'm talking about my sleep to wake and I can cook. So then I was paying 80 euro. I paid 80 euro at the first time on that place. Before I paid, I called Jeffys. I sent him the picture. Jeffys, how far? See where I see. I wanted to carry this room, but this room in this for me is too small. I don't know I can take it. He said, this place is not where you can stay forever. So if you know you can pay for you to stay for some time, just pay and rent the room. And rent the store. I said, okay. Then I paid 80 euro. I stayed before they paid me. So I was in that place. So immediately they paid me, I gave them their money. I was living with them. So Eddie controlled the people who was in that house. Philip, Erere, Sandra, and we say Esther, Mary, and we say one. He controlled them. So we were all together. So later on, having them in the midst of me, I still show different in the presence of multitude. Even though we were 4 or 3 or 2 or 1, I showed difference. Eddie became angry. So he told them to be dragging with me, making problem with me. So now the place I rented, this store, I was not staying in the store. This was the truth I want to say. That was why he said they should be making problem with me. No, I paid for the store and I never stayed for the store for more than 2 to 3 weeks. I was living with them on parlor. On store was me alone. On parlor was 3 of us. Philip, Erere, and I. So then I was going to school. I never registered a school when I was in this place. Then I moved from that Davalia. I checked a school. I registered a school. I was going to a school. So a morning came where I want to go to school. I never knew these people were angry that I was marching France differently from Eddie, and the people Eddie was trying to march to look like as if it was me. So on that morning I want to go to school. Erere pick on unnecessary not Erere, it was Philip who was angry. I have to go to my store that I rent. His girlfriend is coming from Paris, want to come and stay. So if he come, he don't want her to see we are staying together. And his girlfriend was having a room. So Eddie told him to make me look as if I'm disgraced staying in a store while they are staying in the room. I don't really know. So on that morning, he was speaking, making angry. Then I really pick for him. No, I cannot be this place. I have to go to my place I rent. Is it this place I paid? I have to go to my place I paid for. I say, what's going on? So what makes me angry? My cream that I left on the room, on the shelf of them, coming to there to pick my cream. They picked an agreement of I was not supposed to come to the parlor at that time. So I started angry with Erere. It was a man that is senior to me, and I was giving him his respect. So from there I picked with Erere. I became angry with him, challenging him. After everything, I took my cream and everything, I went to school. Then I came back from school. When I was in school, they would be insulting me. Eddie and Eki would be using the voice of the roof to disorganize my education when I'm in class. That was the reason why I was in school in France for 3 months. I was in France in school for 3 months. When they speak, it's just like they are speaking inside me for everyone to hear. So it became difficult for me. So I left the school. I was at home. So God so kind, the girl who Philip said it was a girlfriend that made Philip to try to want to disgrace me for this crew. This period he was paying American, not the Europeans, not even his wife, who was the mother of Mama Oshoke. He was paying American, for American to like him or whatever. So at that period, Philip girlfriend came and was using Philip. I never knew they had something going on before I came to that house. They fought, they did different things before the girl left. So girl came back. That girl was having that thought on mind. So that girl was inviting boys to sleep with her in the house to say they are brothers in the same room. So I never think of anything. So me on store that Philip drove out of the place we were sleeping together, I was more better than him, because he said it was his girlfriend that was coming to disgrace me. So the girlfriend was putting a man inside his house under the nose of Philip. So after that period, the girl left. She said she want to leave the house. She packed out of the house. Then I moved from the store to her room. I was paying 260 euro. A room bigger than Edith's room. No other room in Edith's house that was bigger than that room. I was paying 260 euro monthly. And they were paying me in France 430. So I began to stay in that place. Staying in that place, I never knew after Lovette, Eddie controlled Eki, who is in Swiss, who was working in an airline. Her name is Eki Edna Obano, who was working in an airline. Through Eki Edna Obano, Eddie gets the access to make all airline to have sickness. It was never for me. That's Eki Edna Obano, who was working in Swiss Airline. That Eddie think I know her. She was my bust up of woman that he want to disturb, not to make me have my goal. I never know. I wanted to bless the woman. Her money. If Eki was richer than me the time I know her, even though she spent her money for me, I will make her money to make the money she spent on me to make her better more than the level she never go to. Access of the control Eddie did to me. I bought 5 bags for her when I was in Italy doing sorority and working man work. Before I go to France. So now Eddie was controlling Eki. I never knew. I know Eki from Italy. 2016, 2015. Before I know, Before I know Lovett, I think I know Eki, or before I know Eki, I know Lovett before I know Eki. One of those two. So Eki, now Eddie was using the roof to check Eki, how she was taking shower, how she was living, how she was doing her things. And Eki was a very spoilt woman from Benin, Edo State. She said she never had a mother and she never had a father. And where it became complicated, the Lovett who came from Italian, that I know from Italian, who was in London, that came to see me in France, never had mama and never had father. But God bear my weakness. If I, Osaon, was on crew to make Lovett look like fool to France or to men as a woman, your mother, your father who is not living will call me this place. If I drink water will kill me. If I eat with salt, it will kill me. Anything I eat will cause me death. But if I never, it will cause Eddie, it will cause Eki, it will cause Lovett. Lovett return and tell them, say what they do you. So this is the issue. From there I moved to Davalia. I was in Davalia. So Davalia now, Eddie, any woman I call, Eddie will move to the woman on roof. No data, not do this one, leave this man, this. So I started. So for me now, after the Lovett, I tried. Lovett was no more. I said, okay, there's Eki. And I told Eddie one word after Lovett came and gone. I said, I love Lovett, but now sweet. This sweet woman that they call Eki, now I love part because see how he play, see how he not play. Not knowing that every word I was saying, Eddie was trying to record those words and give to Lovett to make me look as if I never loved Lovett. I was keeping the time I used to know them and who was faithful. Lovett became faithful that came to look for me in France. But being faithful and you had another mistake on your faithfulness, you were never faithful to the faithfulness we are looking for. So sorry about what I just said. I told Eddie I love Eki more than Lovett. I'm a man. So if I know Lovett will hear that word, I will never say it in front of Eddie or never to open my mouth to say. There's no word I will say that people will not hear these days because Eddie controls me in France. So from there, I moved to Davalia. Eddie was controlling Eki, who was the woman that lives in Swiss. So, first of all, before I moved to Davalia, Eki called me in Ovon. She said she know the way she's talking to me now, my dick is standing. I don't really know. And I told her, why you think that as you are talking to me, my dick was standing? And he said, so we'll talk one or two. He said, where is the glass? I said I bought for her. It was guest glass. This guest glass that is common. Now that time it was very, 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 very hard for you to see. So I got it for a friend. I never gave him money. I told him when I get to France, I will send him money. His name means I never gave him money. So I get that glass. So reaching France, during all those process, I was not having money, doing different things. I gave Eddie, and I called after Eki was trying to, I gave Eddie gave me 10 euro or 20 euro on this glass, guest glass. I collect 20 euro from him. Then I gave him the glass. So at the line on, when Eki called me, where is the glass that I said I want to give to her, sunglass? I said I gave it to my friend. I was not happy. He gave me 20 euro. I told her the truth. You see, why will I say I love her and to give the sunglass that I want to give to her, to my friend? That was the excuse she was using on me. I said, I don't have a document that will bring me to your country to give to you. And she was not ready to come to see me. to take the sunglass. And that same period, that was when she told me she was coming to Paris. She said she come to Paris before because her sister had a baby in Paris, but this time around she's coming to Paris. She's coming with her husband. I said, okay, no problem. Then we talk, we speak. Then it was over. Then from there I left Eddie's house. I was now in Davalier, where I rented a store, from store to a room. I met Sandra. Sandra now speak everywhere. So immediately I reached that house. The first day I reached that house, Mary, Sandra's sister, was it Mary? I don't know, was an Esther, be with her. She collected the number of Eddie and called Eddie. They speak for more than 20 minutes. Never knew Eddie, because of he was fucking Eki, thinking all human is like stupid as her, or as him and her. So Eddie was trying to program Sandra, because Sandra's breast was big. Even though it's big, it was not big like the one of the Eki when it comes to breast. So he programmed Sandra, and Sandra was a person who came to Europe to work for herself, road work or whatever. That was what she was doing. So during those process, I became very smart enough, dragging to search for Lovett and trying to have Eki as a woman, not knowing that Eddie was controlling Eki. Eddie spoiled Eki, he spoiled Lovett. Through that process, I was not able to speak with Eki. Eki started speaking on roof, on Davalier, with Pastor Glory. Different word I don't want to say. It will look as if we will stay together. I say, come peace. And I won't open your pants. I won't open my phone for you. May you peace me. I never knew when I peace, it will touch all the mound for them not to rotty. Eddie was speaking to make the people rotty. He eat the forbidden food because he found the money I was receiving. And he make Eki to lose our work. So, Eki was speaking with me on Davalier. How did he come? I called her. I put her picture. You see, I don't have to put her picture again. This and this, she blocked me. When she blocked me, I said, my hair was too bushy. Let me look fine, boy. I went to Center Blanc. Harry cut my hair. As he cut my hair, I met Rasta, who is a Ghanaian man, who had kids for Spaniel. They say he had kids for Spaniel woman, who was a Ghanaian. He was smoking weed. I said, let me drag from your weed. I drag from the weed. Immediately I drag from that weed, I start to hear, not even weed, it was shit. I start to hear the voice of Eki on Bellevue. Then what she replied as a woman, you control me, Abi. As you control me, go drink vino. Then I smile. Why I smile? It was the woman I was liking, and this was her voice. Then I smile. So now weed and shit, they tell they control this woman. This period I was not smoking. When I smoked, France got my money for like 2-3 months. That was when Yahweh really used to smell small. The stuff Eddie used to control me burst inside me, and I shit everything out, and my blood became new. Inside Tran, na France. Inside the Tran, France was speaking. Lui la fumari douez-vous. That was the reason why he burst. The old tram was smelling as if there was another. I never knew it was me. I never knew it was me. I left out. As Francis speak, I come down, we move. From there, she tried to now, because this stuff has burst inside me, he now switch to Philip. He was controlling Philip. Never know that God burst this stuff for me never to have the problem, but for me to put the heart with him, for him to clear from my head to my toe. On this period, I lost my roof on Davalia because they were waiting for me to sleep with Sandra. I never sleep with Sandra. And they told Sandra, if I sleep with her, this is money they want to give to her. Razi came, my friends that came to stay with me, sleep with Sandra, and they were mashing those people as if it was me that was sleeping with Sandra. I never slept with Sandra. So I left. So the reason why I never slept with Sandra, just like the way I said with Lovette, who came from London, that Eddie signaled me with. So can you believe that the signal that Eddie used, the stuff Eddie used to control me, sleeping with Lovette, Eddie was making me and Lovette as if we were bluffing actors, because he was watching the way we are making love, just like the way you are seeing this. I'm making video record. The mourn as a stupid mourn. Act as if you don't know you see from that man's eyes, and you are eating the man's money. This is where Quran come to take the mourn, to act as if you never knew that man was marching with Quran. This is the reason why I was making the video. If I never want to make the video, I will speak like this, watching it. Then hit the month you think you know. Where is Italian Uno? Match this place. Where was France 24? Where was BBC? Where was CNN? Match this place. Where was Silver Bed? Mona Marshall. This is where I match differently from you. So I never knew sleeping with Lovette, Eddie was using us as fame, a blue fame. And it was never my arrangement between Eddie, and I knew Eddie from Nigeria, and I knew Lovette through her sister, and I knew them in Europe. They paid us money. They paid me, they paid Lovette. Eddie took the money. So planning for me to live with Sandra, sleep with Sandra, to make that oosh and the ash. That was the video I asked. Where the oosh ash go? Oh no, Mona drop and me the drop house and I never knew every sex that I had with woman. As long as I make sex with woman, you make an ash, oosh that comes to my ear. Everyone who is man enough to have a woman will hear, not for the babies to hear. So he was trying to use Sandra to replace Lovette. I escaped Sandra. Razi came, he slept with Sandra. Uyi came, he slept with Sandra. I never slept with Sandra. From there, I was having Veronica. Veronica was an Mexican who fell in love with me, was having a son, Kelvin. I met her from Soccer, Harp Soccer. She was a doctor. So from there, I was in love with Veronica. But something I did, I prayed that God Allah should forgive me. She opened her breast. She come. And I never opened my dick to show her my dick. I was using my hand to form as dick on darkness. Giving her the sun, doing everything. I never opened my dick to come with her. She opened her breast. The momently I understand that girl opening breast for the more to see. And she was mashing. Whenever she pees, even though she pees today, she pees tomorrow. If I should pees next tomorrow, that I touch myself alone to peace, my peace will match her peace to read Mexico. I never knew. Immediately they know this girl was the one that I said, I love you, I do this. We were saying those I love you together. They sent her wrong news that I was rotting, that I'm not living. That I was not living. They sent out that video that I was not living. Then Vero became angry. She blocked me. We were never friends. So after she blocked me, this was a period of I'm inviting her to come to France. She blocked me. We were never friends. So from there, police came to our house because what happened for police came. The strength of my house, I never paid for 3 months. What happened was just like the way I'm living in this place. Eki was speaking and different people. I say, why would they pay for her strength? Now France I for come when they control me. People come they talk for my ear. Different things I not fit pay. Not knowing France make that house already. And now la maison for me to stay. They were calling it foyer. They were calling it foyer. They were calling the house foyer. Uwe ewa yari vai. Oguna mi ron ha gbuwa ha gbeki. E record ni mu yo anything. So they were calling it foyer. They were calling that house foyer. So from there, I never knew I don't have to pay. So on my own issue, when I go angry, I don't have to pay because the noise is too much. First month, second month, the third month, that was when the landlord came and became angry. When he became angry, he said, no, we have to leave the house. I never knew Sandra, Philip were not paying. Collecting the money for me to feed. They were collecting it. And this stamped Sandra as if I was sleeping with Sandra. Sandra was collecting the money. And this stamped Sandra as if I was sleeping with Sandra. And placed Philip as if it was me. Philip and Sandra were collecting the money. I never take money from that house. I never take money from that house. So I never take money from that house. So I was in that place. So from that place, when the landlord came, he called police. The police came, they were speaking. As soon as they were speaking, they said they want to go. When they said they want to go, Eki speak with Philip. He said, do what we make the police drove you guys out. I will give you another house. I'll give you another house. If you call me again, I'll block him. So he said, if you call me again, I'll block you. You know, if you call me again, I'll block you. So you understand? So she was waiting for me to sleep with Sandra. I never sleep with Sandra. So the landlord came. So when he came, he was angry that I never paid for 3 months. He asked us to leave the house. Then we left I left the house. I called some kids. They gave me 1 day. For 1 day, Jeffis, who was staying with me, Jeffis came. They told Jeffis that I was not supposed to pay for that house. Jeffis never told me. I know Jeffis from Nigeria. So Jeffis was staying with Faith that Eddie said is his father that make Faith pregnant in Germany, who is having the baby that Jeffis is calling his baby. They are in Germany. This one on Facebook. I dey face am for the hair. Una no get shame. Una decrease. Una be bad. Una no fit fly follow me. You no fit tear. We no fit do anything follow me. So Jeffis was like, he never told me that. They told him I don't have to pay in that house. So I think that was what gave Razzie and Philip an agreement. They said they were angry before they came to where I am. So that was what stopped me from Philip to eat the same food, and I was eating with Oli Razi. So before Jeffys came. So on this issue, I never slept with Sandra. Eddie was waiting to continue the ash, which is the sound of sex in every man or woman you sleep with. Mine was differently because Eddie controlled me. If I'm speaking now, you are hearing. Being you and an evil and a devil was for you to act as if you don't know what this son or this man is saying, and you were taking money that was giving you sickness. For him to control me, that was the reason why the woman I stay with, the sound to come to your ear. That was the reason why I watch music, you hear, you see. And it was from France. It's not from any country. So he tried to give me Sandra. I escaped Sandra. From there, they asked me to leave the house. I left the house. I was not having roof. Then I came to Italy. I was staying with Eguasa. Not knowing as I called Eguasa that I was coming to his place, they controlled Eguasa for him to sleep with Sandra with code. What I was escaping for. Eguasa received me just as a friend, but his mind was not settled. So from there, after like 1 week, 2 weeks, he said, "How long are you going to stay?" I said, "Brother, I feel still like 1 month, 2 months." I said, "Even when 1 week, 2 weeks, because I supposed to move, because it was how to put it, it was not stable it was not stable, my staying, because friends you meet, the woman want to control them. But I went to Eguasa because I knew him from Nigerian, just like the way I went to Eddie, but I never played with Eddie more than 2 weeks in Nigeria. So I never knew Eki controlled Eguasa with Sandra before I got to Eguasa's house. So reaching that place, so before I get to Eguasa's house, Eki controlled Eguasa with Sandra. He sleep with Sandra. So reaching there, Eguasa kept me as his friend. We smoke, we eat, we do everything. So after that time, we drink, we eat, we do everything. After that time, Eguasa now was deeply into the code. There was a day I moved out. I want to go and buy weed. I buy the weed, I smoke. I was coming. Italian match already. Say, Louis Killer, Captain Lamond. After the word I heard from Torino. So I buy my weed. I was keeping my weed as I was coming. Italian was match. Louis Killer, Capilla, Captain Lamond. I do it as if I don't really understand what was going on. So I moved. So as I was going, Eki, due to the word Italian said that was hot to her, he said I should go to Eguasa's house to go and eat the food that will kill me. Reaching his place, I opened the fridge. I found rice, jollof rice, that was cooked. So because of the word Eki said, I never eat. I had weed, but I don't eat. I wait. Eguasa came. Immediately Eguasa came. He took from the rice. So it was this. I say, brother, I use it with me, yours. So I don't know. As he take from the food, when he ate, I ate from the food. And I ate from the food. I was cool. Then I chill to say, okay, why? Because on food, I understand Eddie controlled me. After the control or before the control, my mom called me that I should have to be careful. I don't have to cook to put in fridge, that she dreamed that they are going to control me with food. tiens, if don't have moody having energy or my coming, if I don't want put fire for your body, if I let man not die better. You are told in here, man. So, so from that place, I never eat the food. Then I move. I wait for him to come. When he come, he take from the food, he eats. Immediately he eats, then I follow him, I eat. We were living together. So his wife was not staying in that place. His wife used to come on Thursday or Friday. So immediately his wife came, I don't really know what was going on. Maybe his spirit was not abide to mine or was not matched to mine. So he was complaining that what is going on, she cannot stay, the living this and this, that and that. I have to go and be doing shoroti for me to have money to eat. Egwasa never tell me to do shoroti. My friend I knew from Nigeria, it was a woman who was quarreling with Egwasa, making Egwasa for Egwasa to tell me to go and do shoroti. So Egwasa tried to bring me out for me and him to go and do shoroti. I never go with him. I said no, I'll go later. So the moment he moved, then I started going to Aero Spain, which was not far away from his house. Reaching Aero Spain, I found the love of Italian. They were even complaining, Pekwatu file a shoroti. Why am I doing shoroti? We know you as a very responsible person and a very presentable person who has money to eat and drink. Why are you doing shoroti? They were complaining. Some will give, some will complain, this and this. So later they were watching me because it was hard for you to see what I'm doing with the money. When I take money, I will buy food, I will go and buy smoke. They will see I'll cook the food I cooked. 3 days like that. As I go to the supermarket, I buy, then the supermarket, Aero Spain, read it. 3 times. Madam, to Ifato Mali, you have done wrong to this very man, which is I. We discover you 3 times. For this level, we are giving him 10,000 euro for him to feed. I don't know how to take this money because I was ignorant of the object Eddie controlled me with. I went outside. I was there. Then someone came out. He was angry. Louis Kifala Shoroti, Jeshi Miller. He do everything. He come out. Me, I move. I go a house. Immediately I go Egwasa house. I was in Egwasa house. They called Egwasa. They told Egwasa, Aero Spain gave me 10,000 euro that I've never collected the money. That Egwasa have to send me out of his house to bring another person in. They should take the money to be eating the money. So immediately Egwasa came, he had that jack. He was anxious of asking me to leave his house. He was locking his pepper, maggi in his place. I cook for 5 times. I cook today. You see my food, I live here. Sometimes 2 days, 3 days, I'll eat morning, I'll eat the. So I cook like that. Today, tomorrow, it will spoil. Today, tomorrow, it will spoil. I send the record. Mommy, I don't know why my food I cook spoil. 5 days. So he asked me to leave his place. He was anxious of driving me out. Then he asked someone who was in Malta to come and stay with him. Locking pepper, locking maggi, giving that man his key. I say, my friend, when I know for Nigeria, now I'm going to lose guard me. Now carry my bag, then I move to France. Reaching France, I reached France. I had the money from Ofi. So I never rented the house. I rented an hotel. I collected money from Mace before I gave to Domaze. Domaze left to Amsterdam. that Eki used to change to look as if he want to change to me. Just like the way they will say, Juice de la Osaon, she will say no, meti questo, meti guasa, meti this one, meti that one. So, but France as a civilized world is the word has ever said, has ever says. He said they only said they need an ash of a man sleeping with woman for all human who is above to the age to put dick on pussy, to show and to stand on ear. This is what is causing the war of where I say, Wallahi billahi ta'ala ishi Allah illa Allahi. Quran take over the monde for 3 years and it will reign forever. France said they need an ash. So now, do you know what happened? After all this run to Davalia, to this, to that, after after what Eddie did. So I left the house of Davalia. Then I was in the church. I moved. When I came back from France, when I came back from Italy, I rented hotel. I stayed for like 3 days. And 69 euro or 59 euro. I stayed for 3 days. So after that 3 days, with my feeding and everything, so I said, man, try, man, go. Then my mom called me. He said, so, you try to be dressing and stop speaking, stop shouting, and start dressing. I said, okay, mommy, I heard, I will do this. The month she asked me to start dressing was the month they stopped paying me. And that was the month that they start paying France immigrants with a card for you not to eat, to buy what you want, only for you to buy clothes or whatever you want. So France, as a civilized country, they said, who is the man who marched to an express? Express was the money for you to use. I was the only man who was marched to an express the way France need. Eki, who is in Swiss because she was fucking Eddie with code, just like the way Eddie fuck Lovette. She never allowed France to process the issue they want to process. She was processing her own. So now Eki became angry. For everybody who slept with Sandra, I refused to sleep with Sandra. Reaching Pesha, Egwasa slept with Sandra with code that make Egwasa to tell me to leave his house, and invited mortal person to come to his room. Then I moved to France. Reaching France, that was when I rented a room. What Eki did on France Tran, I was inside the Tran. You know what she said? She said, if I never do pray, there will never be house or foyer for me. He said there will never be house or foyer for me. I was moving my life. The Fran took me to the end of the road and stopped at that place. I moved from the end of that road to the city where I'm living. To the city where I'm living. So from there, I was looking for, after the hotel I rented, 3 days, 4 days, I was still in this, you know, understand? I was in this, sometimes I would just with my bag, deal with men, traveling big up like you come from travel, like that. So sometimes I was, this bag don't too heavy me. The bag was too much for me, just like this one. So I was like, the bag was too much for me to be drawing around. So I cannot take this bag around. Let me look for her to. So on a very good evening, I met 2 Francis who was travelers. I never knew they were Francis. So I said to them, please, I'm looking for where to sleep. I met them under a bridge, Vassangage. They said even them themselves, when they finish smoking, they are going to a church to sleep. So we were supposed to go to church that was at the side of Malakoff. They said, no, let's go to the other one. They took me to the church at Vasongage. I slept with them. 2 days we slept together. Right now, the guy passed me the code of the church. It was a Catholic church. I understand Catholic church or normal in Italy, what they call Caritas. Caritas is a Catholic church is what is pushing Caritas. So from there I was in the church. So the pastor, which is the priest of that church, the father of the church, saw me. He gave me something to sleep. Eki controlled him and said, no, you don't have to give me what to sleep. The man took what he gave to me. I was using rug that they normally spread on Sunday service to sleep. So during those process of that service, at morning, I will meet different people. When even I don't have money or I have money, I will meet them. So sometimes when I'm hungry, please, I need money to eat. I'm hungry, I want to eat. Someone will give me money. Someone will take me to store and buy me food. Then I met one woman, very old woman. She read food, how to eat and whatever. She was older than me. She might be older than me let me say, at that time she would be older than me than with 30 years or 20 years or whatever. So I met this woman. This woman was the person giving me food to eat. So when he find out this woman was close to me, that this woman is ready to help me from the church to the house, he spoiled the woman. He brought Uyi to spoil the house, to spoil the woman. After that one, I met one woman called Catherine, who is an Spaniard. And I asked this Spaniard, where are you from? She said she's from France. I never knew she was a Spaniard. Due to what Eddie was telling her, to make her look as if maybe I don't know myself or she does not know herself. For her to tell me she's a Spaniard, for her to tell me she's a Francais and she's a Spaniard. When I get to France, this place you are seeing this close now is Italy. I rented a room when I find Takali. I left France because of Takali that is from American. Because I was not having a roof, I was staying with Martinique. I said, let me come to Italy. Italian government will give me a house. I'm the only person who is matched with the government. Italian government, German government, France government, every other government and Nigerian government. And we know Nigerian government are corrupt. They are 419. Just like the way Buhari is a fool. So in Europe, I know right now that Europeans, they are idiots. They are very big fools. That was the reason why you have chance to have Africans as safe trade. I will never use myself for safe trade. For me to die in your country, I will return myself to Nigeria. I'm a Nigerian, I'm an Edo State. Even though I sleep in this place, I know where I come from. I know where I'm going to. If Italian can provide a guasa, a key, and everybody who is disturbing me to make this video, just like the way I made this place. I've been sleeping in this place for 10 months. The record I sent to Simona, who is human rights that I know in 2019. I never posted it on Facebook. Today on is becoming too much. So, as I was saying, so Eddie was controlling them. Then now I moved from from France because of Takali. When I found Takali, after everything they have done, in spiritual, in physical, spoiling my name and everything, I met Takali. Takali was one black girl that was using her picture on my screensaver. She's from American. She have 5. Her children, she have 5 kids. But she's 32 or 33. You understand? She have 5 kids. So when I had Takali, I said, Takali, I was inviting her to Europe, and I was staying with someone, Martinique, just parlor and room, kitchen and whatever. I said, let me go to Italy. Italy should give me roof. Because I came to Italy before on supermarket, I matched with 10,000 euro, even though I never eat the money. I said, okay, this country, They are matching what France has been matching, but Nigerian is changing it. I said, let me come to Italian to feel Italian government. So as soon as I had that relationship, I said, I'm coming to Italy to match Italian government for them to give me house. Even when I passed the Dublin, which is the roadblock, Dublin told them, this man is entering Italian qui la dit, la montre qui la mette la place. Italian have to speak, the month have to make it a place. I'm disgraced by you all. I'm disgraced by you all. I'm sorry for you all. I'm sorry for you all. Africa wanna take our safe trade. Now work for una. Now build una country. Una be shame. Una be disgrace. Una be disgrace. Eternal. How many percent you get for Eguasa to stand for Eguasa? How many percent the month get for me to stand for me? How many percent you get for a D? So then I move. Then to this Eguasa and every other stuff. Sorry, I'm in word. You know, I'm very, very angry because I'm matching the voice of the roof. They are speaking right now. I'm hearing. This is voice of the roof. I don't really know if you want to form scent or whatever. No supermarket in Europe that does not have the voice of the roof. Differently from the music. I'm the one, sometimes I come in the Omashka song. There was never a time supermarket was like that. Was there any time supermarket was like that? So, from there, I return back to Italy to say, let me work for Italian government to give me house. For Takali to come and greet me. I never knew. When I had Takali from France, we were staying together having a time. Eguasa Eddie was still looking at her from the roof and everything she was doing with me, they attack her. And Takali, who is from American, and the first word I said to her, immediately I was talking to her, I said, every word you are saying to me, American security is aware. Americans are security. They are aware of every call I'm making with you. That's my own word I want to say to her. Then secondly, I said to her, they have been eating my money for like 2 to 3 years. It started from 2018. So Takali, I'll post a picture later for you to know Takali. So I never knew Takali will pair to this crew. If she opened breast for me, she would go and open Toto for them. And she got rotty for denying the stuff that was matched with her, with France, that she never get rotty to American and she never get rotty to any Monde. So I moved to France. I said, let me wait for this babe. So when I moved to Italy, I was in Davalier. I was using my brother's network because my friends same. So my bros, they attack her with the voice of the roof. They ask her for him. They ask him not for him to share network with me. This. He obey with them. He never share network with me. So I rest. I was searching for Wi-Fi. I was looking for money. I had €5. I said, let me buy card. I buy card for Eseluga, hoping to work on my France SIM. France SIM, it never worked, and I returned the card. They gave me my money. So I was there. On the evening of it, I went to that place I get free Wi-Fi. I was talking to Takale. He said he will call me back in 20 minutes. 20 minutes time, when I was trying to call her, she was on call. I call, she was on call. Going back home, it was late to 12. So trying to enter, my brother said to me, where am I coming from? I'm coming home late. What's going on? I have to leave his house. Then he asked me to leave his place. That evening, the daybreak of it, he asked me to leave his place. I took my bag and I called Boston, who I knew in Sicily in 2014. Then I said, Epa Boston, I beg, I no vex, I dey come see you. You fit do it for me. Say, wait, he say, ma, come down. He say, I should come. Then I came. I reached his place. I met, he was in a flat. One person was in his room and him to make two. Then he gave me one room. That room was very rough. So came me to that place. I arrived this evening. The next morning, I did not go to look for money. I dressed up the place. I arranged the room, cleaned up the room, cleaned up the kitchen, and did everything. Then I went out. I was hustling Italian who know me from France, who know the only man who is marched to the mud from France, that them know. They were helping me. I was paying the house. Access of what Egwasa, Eddie, and Eki was eating. The money they were eating that was given to me. So immediately they see I was more pay than them who was living in 2 rooms or flat. I was in a room on that Boston. But my living was different. So they were paying Ambrose and Takale, juice de la spaghetti, juice de la pasta, and restaurants. I was the one cooking the food. I've not eaten anything. So to prove them wrong or to prove them right, tell them to cook for we to have the taste, or for we to have the food we want to eat. So from there, I never knew this babe. They control her, they paired her with restaurants. I was trying to call her. She was not there too responding to me, and not there too presentable for me to show up with. I was doing my things. So then I had Sri Lanka, Bangladesh. Her phone was just like this on the floor. Her phone was like this because I called different people. Even though which chair person pick, I know say na my piece, na my prick, say my prick. I know say na this prick. I piece, he give her sickness. He give her illness, don't be sickness, God forbid. If he give her sickness, if I sleep, may I rot him, I die. He give her illness, God go dey heal me, they go. So he was sleeping on the floor like this. So I said, this babe, since these American people and the Eddie and the Egwasa, they are looking for person like someone who is rich, who is Caro, who has money for them to tight with. I want to take Bangladesh on. Then I said to her, how much will take you from Bangladesh to Europe? She calculated her money. It was not up to 300 euro for her to do her international passport, or 400 euro. I said, okay, I will try and work and give you that money for you to process your paper. During that process, when I said this stuff, not getting to the day of everything want to happen, I have a fire burned on granite oil that burnt my hand. So I had the fire burn. I was not the one cooking, it was the person who I was staying with. The pot he used to boil spaghetti or rice, he never rinsed or wash it. So he just keep it to dry and he add oil to it. It was brown. So brown, I was not seeing the oil directly. So I thought there was nothing on the fire. I thought it was ordinary pot. So just for me to shift, I said, I want to go and buy weed. So he gave me 5 euro for me to bring 250, he to bring 250. I want to go and buy weed. So I said, let me remove the pot, the fry pan from the fire. When I saw the pot was brown, I never knew there was oil. Immediately, I raised the pot. For me to remove. The pot burned to my hand. All your pot on my hand. I fell down and I burned my hand. When I burned my hand, I called Takale. This was the injury I had for fire burn. It was as if they were planning for me to have an injury, for them to say the roti they gave to her, it was me that was rotting that roti. She compared with the mound. During the process of my hand rotting, she never picked my call. She never talked to me the way she was supposed to talk to me, to say, baby, how is your hand going? How are you feeling? What are you doing to your hand? This and this. She stopped calling me. The Bangladesh was the one who was punctual to my call. When I call, she would pick. This was the person I was keeping with, but I was not having that time to work and to have money for me to send to her, even to work to pay for the month, to pay for the other month that I have my fire burn. I was not having that hand for me to go and work. Getting to finish, I was able to work. When I go to work, I will get 10 euro, 15 euro. When I'm coming, I have to buy food. And one thing Eddie and Egwasa and Boston was doing, even though Boston buy food and come, he will lock it inside his room. And sometimes he have to come around 8 or 6. Or sometimes he have to come around 7. And I am home around 1 or 2 from the streets. So when I'm coming, I will buy food for me to eat. And I will cook that food for him to come, for him to eat. So during this process, when I was having my hand burned, I was not having money that was capable for me to pay for the rent the second month, just like the way I paid for the first month. So on this process, something happened. Boston said, Jus de la Takale, Jus de la Ambrose, make I come up for a house. On a very good evening, he asked me to leave his house. I left his house. I came to this place. Reaching this place, I met someone. He said, bro, Safa, what you did? I said, see, go house. I went to his house. I called Takali. We spoke together. After we spoke together, I came that evening. Around 4-5, I was about to use myself. I want to go to toilet. I went downstairs. I went to his toilet. The toilet was not clean enough for me to sit. So I checked a place for me to use myself. It was not. I said, okay, let me come to this place. This was how I know this ghetto. So I said, let me come to this place. I moved from that place. I came to this place. I jumped to this place. I used myself. So immediately I used myself. I cleaned myself. I said, let me go back. I was going back to the house I slept around 4 to 5. Tried to open the door was locked. I tried to push, the door was locked. Then trying to check the corner, I met this bag, other bags was on the floor. They dropped it outside for me to take my things and leave. I said, why this guy locked my bag, man, move. Then I took my bag, I moved to Questora. My former Questora, 2014, that is on Tija. So, not knowing that Questoras changed their Questora, not longer Questora. I think this place was even still here in 2014. I don't really know. They are now here. So I was in that place. I wait. Egwasa speak. He said Questora don't have to answer me. They have to wait in 12 on 1. Because he was searching for Takali that was opening breast for her and Toto. So me as an stupid person who never know women were stupid, Takali was foolish. I snapped the picture of Questora and I sent to Takali. Takali, this is where I came to. I was trying to pay her to make her know my friends was using these people to look as if they don't know themselves. I never knew she was paid to them. Takali, see, this is what I'm saying. This Questora was here in so time. They never answered me. I sent her this picture. Till 12, Questora never answered me. Then I left Questora. I came back to this place. That was when I started staying in this place. 5% if you want off, you off. That was when I started staying in this place. I stayed this place for close to like 10 months. Now, I'll continue with this video, man. I'm having 5%. Okay, let me post it.